Gonna give, there we go.
Hey Brian,
Hi, Peter.
how are you?
Great, great. Excited for today. I'll give everybody another 15 seconds before we jump into it. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, an exciting one today. Oh, they keep getting more and more exciting.
And they'll keep
Uh,
getting more and more exciting as we continue to roll out software and things continue to build. And we go from thousands to tens of thousands to millions of users to tens of millions to hundreds of millions of users.
yeah, before you know it. Well,
Yes.
we're 2 p.m., so welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I think I'm going to start doing these in a more organized way um, uh, because they're getting a little bit longer. There's more information that needs to get out. So, as an overview, the various things that the various topics that I intend to cover today, major updates to the software, um, the Halloween events, the uh, uh, various activities that are going to happen through the end of October. We'll talk a little bit about locked liquidity, generally, Solana projects. We're definitely going to hit on staking and the status of staking. Um, got some information, just meta information on the UTHEX token for you. Some information about upcoming events and publicity. I'm going to do a little bit of a roadmap for the next few months of development and what you can expect there, um, and some interactivity with community. Um, but I'm going to start today with pretty much the main event that I'm really excited to talk about. I know lots of people have had questions about it. So, Peter, I don't know if I missed anything in the overview, but
Now we're
if you're good.
golden. That is exactly what we need to cover today.
Okay, so I'm going to jump right into the main event, and this is a presentation. I prepared a little slideshow for everybody, but the second mint date is approaching, and this is actually a really exciting event. You're gonna hear why, and I hear people, concerned. I see some concerns about why is UTHEX mintable? And you've all been trained for so long here that having a token which is mintable is a red flag, or I guess up on DEX tools, a yellow flag. And that's true. That's true for a lot of projects. But it really depends on the nature of the project. And I'm going to explain to you why it is that you should be just bubbling over about the second mint date. So without further ado, let me share my screen here and we'll start up a little slideshow. Um, uh, here we go. All right. So let me get myself completely organized. Um, I expect that we will want to do something with this, maybe cut this up. So, uh, because a lot of people are going to have ongoing questions about it. And this is going to be really fantastic discussion. So, generally, when we hear that a token is mintable, you're thinking about things like a meme coin and maybe a rug pull where uh, something behind the scenes, some reason why this token is mintable when other tokens generally are not mintable. They mint the full amount. And if a meme coin is mintable, that's understandable to be concerned because there's nothing behind the project. It's basically meme coins are basically Ponzi schemes, in my opinion. It really depends on other people buying it at a higher price. There's no real reason to own the token other than that. And if it's mintable, that means that people behind the project can, at any point just mint more, sell them into the market. That's why the mintability has gotten a black eye. But if you really think about the godfather of all tokens here, the godfather of all coins, being Bitcoin. Satoshi, I mean, absolute genius. And he didn't pre-mint 21 million coins and then start to distribute them. The way that Bitcoin was structured is a maximum supply of 21 million and rewards that get produced, i.e. minted, every 10 minutes. So I want to explain to you why we made the decision to make UTHEX mintable. And I thought that the best way to do that was in relation to Bitcoin and a discussion about Bitcoin standard, a discussion about money, and a discussion about coins in general and tokens. So I'm going to start off by discussing what the features of money are, because this is really important to understanding Bitcoin. And you can tell I'm a huge fan of Bitcoin. I'm a huge fan of Satoshi. This is a monumental breakthrough for human civilization. And it's one that I was working on before, or concurrently, I would say, with him. But I was working on it from a different angle. And what I produced has generated a multi-billion-dollar economy. I mean, tens of billions of dollars that have flowed through a centralized, let's say, in-world currency raise in our classic system. What Satoshi did, which was so brilliant, was figuring out how to decentralize it and focusing on one particular feature of money. So let me give you an overview of the three for people that aren't familiar with economics and money and how this all works. Money really has three inherent attributes, which combined give it the force of true value that we consider to be money. So one is store of value. And what store of value simply means is if I do work and I can't immediately get reciprocity for my work, that I need a way to be able to store the value of that work so I can exchange it later. If I'm a plumber, I've spent an hour fixing pipes, then ideally 20 years later, if I've stored that value, I can have somebody come give me 1 hour of pipe fixing and it's even Steven. Things that are good at storing value are things which can't just be arbitrarily increased. You can't just pull them out of the ground. Gold is generally considered a store of value because it's hard to get more gold. But of course, you can get more gold. Gold is ultimately mintable. Bitcoin, on the other hand, well, we'll get to Bitcoin presently, but as stores of value go, things like chicken or fish, those may not be a great store of value. They're going to deteriorate over time. Something like gold won't deteriorate over time. The second feature that I want to talk about, let's say, is unit of account. This is one which is generally discounted a lot, but a unit of account means I can put on my books and records very easily a unit. So when I'm keeping accounting, I can say I got 3 ounces of gold. It cost me 2 ounces of gold. I netted a profit of 1 ounce of gold. That's difficult to do, again, something like a chicken, where you say, well, I got a big chicken. I got a little chicken, a scrawny chicken. I got a dead chicken, right? It's not great as a unit of account. They're not all equal. They're not easily entered into your balance sheet. Dollars are a really convenient unit of account. You just $1 in, 90 cents out, right? And then medium of exchange. And this is a major feature of money. And this is where every other crypto really falls. What medium of exchange means, just generally speaking, I can give my store of value. I can easily send it to somebody. They can easily receive it. And there isn't a real impediment to doing that. The less of an impediment, the better of a medium of exchange. So, if you're talking about seashells, those are easy maybe to transact locally when that was part of the economy, but you're not shipping seashells around the world. They are not a good medium of exchange. again, a chicken, not a great medium of exchange. It's certainly not going to last long enough to operate that way. Dollars have become a medium of exchange where they can be stored as digitally in a bank and transacted, but this is a slow process. It requires intermediaries. The ideal medium of exchange has no intermediaries and is just seamless, instant transaction with low friction, low cost. Okay, so all combined, the ideal money would have these three attributes that are all combined at the highest possible level, at the best possible level. So when it comes to store of value, it's my opinion that Bitcoin is the best store of value that's ever been conceived of by and discovered by mankind. It has a maximum fixed supply of 21 million tokens or 21 million coins that will never be more than 21 million. It's just not possible based on the computing algorithms. And therefore, it will store value. The supply can't be expanded. There is an intrinsic problem with Bitcoin. I won't get into it now, but that it will, I believe, continue to go up in value forever. So as a store of value, it actually has a little bit of an opposite problem that dollars do, which is instead of going down, it will increase in value forever. But that's a good problem to have. It certainly doesn't become an issue for a very long time. And why is Bitcoin such a great store of value? Well, Bitcoin derives its value from the computer network hash rate. And so what that basically means is the more computers that are joining the network, the more powerful the network. And because Bitcoin has the first mover advantage, it's brilliant in its encryption algorithms, and the way that this is all done, Bitcoin is the king coin. And we can see how Bitcoin achieved that status by looking at these four elements. The first element, Bitcoin mints a new set of Bitcoin every 10 minutes. So we go back to the original premise here, which is that minting, that being mintable is bad, but it's not true. Bitcoin mints every 10 minutes. There is a new set of give or take, right? Depending on, but on average, every 10 minutes, a new block is worked out and new Bitcoin enter the market. This added supply rewards computing power. So by rewarding computing power with newly minted Bitcoin, it incentivizes more computers to join. And as more computers join, the network becomes stronger. It becomes insurmountable. It has become insurmountable. And that network growth was designed by Satoshi so that every new block, every new issuance of Bitcoin adds more value to the network than the cost of those newly minted Bitcoin. In other words, if Bitcoin is worth 60,000, 70,000 a piece, and you're adding, 3¼ Bitcoin, every 10 minutes, the network becomes stronger such that the network adds more than $250,000, $300,000 worth of value to the network. By adding computing power, increasing hash rate, it's basically spending these new Bitcoin, minting new Bitcoin to increase the ultimate value of the network. So understanding how Bitcoin obtained its leading king position as store of value, let's look over at unit of account. Bitcoin is an okay unit of account. There's 21 million of them. You can put them on a ledger, but there's some unit bias here, which is to say, it's pretty hard to say I got one Bitcoin in and it cost half a Bitcoin because one Bitcoin is what, $65,000. So really you're saying I got 0.00001 Bitcoin and it cost me 0.000005 Bitcoin. That's not a great unit of account. That is pretty messy unless you start going down to Satoshis like sats individually. With UTHX, we looked to overcome this problem by having a total maximum supply of 3 billion UTHX. That helps us with unit bias, when there are 3 billion users of our network, which I anticipate happening. I actually anticipate there will be more, but let's just say, for the sake of argument, 3 billion is a pretty, decent sized network. There will be essentially one UTHEX per user, and you can have a unit of account there where you're dealing in fractional UTHEX, and people can easily deal with that on their ledgers, on their balance sheet. So we looked to compete on unit of account with Bitcoin, but it's really on medium of exchange where I want to focus this discussion, because as a medium of exchange, Bitcoin has proven not to be very good. It is expensive, it's slow, you've got layer twos, you've got wrapped Bitcoin, really all kinds of machinations to try to get people to use Bitcoin in daily transactions, and it just doesn't really happen. Bitcoin is great if I want to lock away wealth and I want to transfer it rarely, but it's not great for buying a cup of coffee. It's not great for paying a bill at a restaurant. And to be fair, neither is anything else. No other cryptocurrency that has come out has been able to penetrate the market as a medium of exchange, and there is a reason why. And that reason basically is, let me see where I go with this slide. That reason basically is because they're trying to break into an existing economy where existing paradigms have already been set. And those existing paradigms include credit cards, bank transfers, digital ability to Venmo money, and everybody's familiar with these economies already. What is required really to become this medium of exchange is to be able to dominate an economy inherently. So I'm going to get back to that point as I discuss how UTHEX derives its value. So Bitcoin deriving its value by increasing the computer hash rate, it has to attract computers to the network. In order to be a medium of exchange, you need, instead of computers, you need people, and you need people transacting. And the more people you add to the network, if there's just 2 of us, we're passing UTHEX back and forth to each other. If there's 3 of us, we can pass UTHEX exponentially more. 4 is exponentially more. And as you get to millions and billions, the transactions become this complete web, which is a distributed network on a social level, which we're calling a social hash rate. So how do we grow the social hash rate? How do we activate this medium of exchange so that UTHEX takes that pillar of what it means to be money? Well, we've copied a lot of what Bitcoin did, of course, but put it into a new paradigm, which is social hash rate. So firstly, we mint new UTHEX every month. We're not doing it every 10 minutes because we're not attracting computers. We're minting new UTHEX every month. This added supply we can intelligently use this added supply to market to and reward users for joining the network. And when I get to the tokenomics, you'll see how that really works. We're loading up wallets that are specifically designed such that the spend of the new UTHEX increases the social hash rate more than the cost, and that drives up the value of UTHEX every month as the social hash rate grows exponentially. And this rewarding users incentivizes people to join the network, and as the network grows, it adds more value than the cost. So the concept ultimately is, we're not initially trying to get people to spend UTHEX in the real world as a substitute for dollars, but we are building the metaverse, the ultimately interconnected Otherverse Xeon and Xeon sovereigns that will interconnect billions of people under this social hash rate concept. And this new economy all runs on UTHEX, which makes UTHEX, of course, the medium of exchange, within the metaverse, and that allows once everybody's accepting UTHEX, once everybody has a wallet that has UTHEX, of course, then it extends out to the real economy, and we become ultimately the medium of exchange for the underlying store of value, which is Bitcoin. And as a unit of account, we're superior also to Bitcoin. So given that Bitcoin's current market cap is $1.35 trillion, ultimately the question is, what market cap do you give to these other critical features of money combined, the medium of exchange and unit of account? I leave that up to you. My argument is, well, those are each worth about $1.35 trillion right now. So, I'm excited to be a holder of UTHEX, that's for sure. And I'm really excited that our second mint is coming up, and you're going to see it in action. So let's look at what the second mint looks like. And this is where I'll leave my little lecture, and we can go to exciting events. So in purple here, you see what we minted at the token generation event. And in blue, you see the second mint, which is coming up on the 28th. We should be doing the second mint. So initially, there were a lot of rewards that went out to pre-sale owners, to pre-sale buyers. You can see that the number of minted tokens in the second mint for pre-sale is going to be significantly less than what it was in the initial token generation mint. Funding rounds. This is designed to add firepower to the wallets for growing the software side of things. So to the extent that we could do over-the-counter transactions, big investors come in, they can participate from the funding round wallet. I should point out that most of the funding round tokens are unspent. Those are going to be locked. Ultimately, they're not circulating the economy. The package sales, this was a one-time mint for people that had purchased VIP and upgrade packages. So there's no second mint for package sales. Those are already all stored in a wallet for later distribution. There was no marketing budget in the initial token generation event. There's a marketing budget now in terms of token, and that marketing budget, if you've got advertising space, if you want to promote the platform, if you want to promote the token, and you are looking to do that in exchange for UTHEX, which I think is a great investment for you, there will be a budget for marketing starting with this second mint. Strategic partners, similarly, these are projects that come in that want to bring in 40,000 people from their project. We're reloading these wallets so that we can incentivize big projects to come in, and we're of course talking to several of them. If you've got a big project, of a big project, they want to do some UTHEX, that's where that can happen. Advisors, you can see, it's pretty much almost the same as the first mint. And again, this is for big investment banks and similar. The advisor tokens have not largely been spent yet either, and those may, as the wallets start to get full, we may reduce the mint numbers, or we'll just lock them away for future. I mean, we have a plan for a 6-year mint cycle, but it's probably going to end up being pushed out to like 20 years or 25 years because the value of UTHEX has gone up so much. We're not talking anymore about needing, I mean, at multiple dollars per token. These budgets are actually quite huge. The Liquidity wallet is doing fine. There's no mint of Liquidity. The staking wallet, of course, staking is coming up. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So our first staking allocation to the staking wallet is coming out, and that incentivizes people again to join the network and to stick with the network and to stake. The team allocation, this one I think is very exciting because most projects will allocate to a team and then distribute the tokens to a team. What we've done here is we've allocated to a team as an incentive plan. And this allows me, most of the team tokens are not allocated. And this may come as a surprise. But what the objective of the team allocation is to incentivize us hiring the top talent on an ongoing basis to, maximize the software development, to maximize token development, and when we move to our own blockchain, that kind of development. So the team allocation here almost acts as, well, I don't want to say. It's an incentive program where we can say, as a signing bonus, you can get a certain number of UTHEX, or options on a certain number of UTHEX that can be picked up after a year. Generally, these vest over 4 years with an 18-month unlock schedule. Community rewards, of course, the most exciting, where we're finally starting to mint, because we're going to hear about play to earn, which is coming down the pipeline here in, 2 days? Foundation and treasury, of course, for general corporate. And so here you see this second mint will be just under 11 million tokens. The first one, of course, was 21 million, my little homage to Bitcoin. And then the totals here, where you see the growth from month to month in the total supply. I will make this deck available for people, and this entire segment, I'm going to try to cut it, turn it into a video for future reference. All right, Peter, any questions?
Exciting, very exciting. And I think that one of the things to look at, guys, is when you start something like this and you start on these endeavors, you don't know what resources you need. You don't know what you need to do it. So we said, hey, let's stretch this over 6 years and we'll see what resources we need. And I think you'll start to see it going out 6 years in a month, 6 years, 2 months, as Brian said, maybe out 15, 20 years before we ever get to the max, because there is a cap, right? Just like Bitcoin, there's a cap on the number that can be minted. And so by being able to say, hey, this is how many users we just hit, 1 million users, 5 million users, 10 million users, we're able to balance that out and keep it to where as Brian said, this medium of exchange, right? Where it makes sense within inside there. So I believe this is the pathway that you should do it. And actually, when you look at from a business perspective, when a company is created, you do your shares and then you issue some of those shares. You don't issue all of those shares, right? So if you really look at this makes sense as a business. But the problem is, in the crypto space, when you have anonymous projects where you don't know who the founders are, you don't know what they're going to do with those unissued ones. So you have to have concern and you have to be worried about that stuff. Thank you that Satoshi started as an anonymous person, because I believe that's why it survived, right? But we're in a new day and age right now where the skill level, the ability of the people behind the project has a lot to do with the success. So you have the technology, you have the people running it, and then you have the community. We have proven that we have the community with what you've seen happen over the last, 20, I think we're at 26, 27 days. You've seen people that have committed to holding, right? They didn't panic sell, right? They didn't, so we have the community. We have the experience of the team of Otherverse that understand this space better than anybody else out there, 18 plus years in the space, created the space, right? Brian is considered one of the godfathers of the metaverse, right? Not, oh, wow, people are really interested in the metaverse. Meta just changed their name. Let me jump in and see what I can build, right? This is someone who's been building it for a long time. So we've got the community, we've got the founders behind this thing, and then we have the core technologies, patented technologies that will help bring this forward. This is the entire picture, right? It's the cake, the icing, it's the candles, it's everything that I believe you should look for in a project, and then get behind that project and support it and help it move forward.
Well said, well said. And I do want to sort of wrap this part up with one sort of takeaway, which is, it has really bothered me over the years to see projects, even Ethereum, you look at Ethereum and proof of stake, these other sort of chains that people are speculating, oh, well, this could be the next Bitcoin. And they have this marketing approach of, well, don't you wish you had bought Bitcoin under $1? but they don't explain to you why they would actually be the next Bitcoin. And it's never made sense to me. It's always just, selling hype. And it's almost fraudulent. I hope that what I've explained here is our thought process on Bitcoin is spectacular as a store of value, but it's horrible as the other two functions of money. We designed this from the ground up to be those other two functions of money. And this is the first time I'm really able to articulate it and explain it broadly outside of my team. But years and years, decades really, of thought about how to formulate what will be. I mean, there's only going to be really, I think, two ultimate cryptocurrencies. One is Bitcoin because it is perfect for store of value. And there will be the other one, which is medium of exchange. I think you all know which one I'm talking about because I don't see how another medium of exchange comes about unless it starts digitally with a massive digital economy. And the only way to do that is metaverse, and the only metaverse, I mean, 85 patents, and I'll be talking about this a lot more tomorrow on my crypto roundtable with Mario Nofal. But in metaverse, you need to have a medium of exchange. It's absolutely core necessity. I've learned this. I've managed a multi-billion-dollar economy over the years, and that's how we've really perfected this as medium of exchange. And for people who say, I wish I had bought in on Bitcoin, I mean, I just laugh every time I see somebody selling our so I'm thinking, wow, the stories that are going to come out of it, that I sold it at under $1. It just echoes with the stories that we've heard from people and these classic posts on Reddit where I was worried that it was up, Bitcoin was $1 and I needed to get out. But yes, from that standpoint, I think very, very exciting, and I'm really glad that all of you are participating. So I set out an agenda at the beginning. Let me pull this back up and see, Peter, where we want to go here. Get to my notes. So I've been doing a lot of talking. Do you want to update people about staking?
Yep. So guys, we got back our initial audit. We had a couple things that we're tweaking. And so one of the keys is security in this space. We wanted to make sure. So we had an audit done on the staking contract. They're working on those right now. It'll get re-audited tomorrow. So right now the target is Thursday or Friday staking will go live. And that will be available for everybody to start working on, depending on. So once we do these 2 fixes or so, then they will go ahead and do a quick re-audit on it. They'll have the devs look at it again, make sure that those are right. The good thing is they were all low level. And if you go look at a lot of contracts, a lot of them have low level things. We don't want anything, right? We want this to be absolutely solid, right? In what we're doing and where we're headed to. So they're going to fix a couple low level things, and then we will be ready to launch this. The front end has been developed. It's all really ready to go outside of just getting the audits cleared and then, getting it ready to launch. So that will be possibly Thursday, but Friday would, Thursday, Friday will be those launch dates.
So I know everybody's seen this that's been following us for a while. You've seen this a few times, but I want to highlight a couple of things again. The first one is when staking goes live, I mean, look at these rewards. If you were in the pre-sale and you have not sold more than 15% of your tokens, you get this extra 2% bonus on those tokens that you stake. So you can get up to a 20% return staking rewards. Those are paid out weekly. So we really wanted to make sure that we're delivering staking rewards back into your unlocked wallet, so you can, really enjoy them inside the world, or, however you want to deal with those. Those will be yours. You can, of course, restake them. And of course, the other thing that I want to highlight again, it's sort of related, is for people that have, I'm sorry, I might have gotten that confused. For people who have not sold more than 15% of their tokens, they get an extra mint. They get an extra mint at the
Yes.
end, right?
Yes.
So if you've been holding onto your tokens, thank you. We keep announcing it every week. I keep seeing people who are giving up that extra mint at the end, which is, I mean, a big give up. So if you're in the pre-sale, we're really looking out for people that are dedicated to sticking with us.
Brian and guys, the reason for this is community is commerce. So a strong community, and what represents a strong community are holders. People that are saying a strong community is, I believe in this, not, I want to get a quick buck and run off, right? Or go find another project. And that is the reason why the incentives that we've put in place, and we will continue to put in place, will be for people that are saying, hey, I believe in Otherverse, believe in the team, believe in this project. So I'm not going to sell it now. I'm going to wait and I'm going to hold on. So, and the reason for the rewards is they are benefiting every single token holder, right? They're benefiting the entire project because they're holders. So when you're thinking about, I want to participate in incentives, then you would want to probably keep yourself in it. Now, we understand sometimes people need a little bit. That's why we didn't make it. You had to hold 100% to get the 13th airdrop. It was 85. On the staking side, it was 100% for the first 90 days, right? Because we're basically saying, hey, the metaverse will be the new patch will be launched. We'll have quests going on in world. We will have the economy up and running by the time it gets to that 90-day period of time. This is all planned and it's all built in order for all of us to succeed in moving forward. So again, thank you. If you're holding and you're going to staking will be a big part of it, right? The bigger percentage of the tokens at stake, the more people look at it and say the community believes in this. And also you're getting those longer term rewards. I got to tell you, there were a few times when I wish I would have staked some tokens, but I didn't stake them. And they went up and I sold them and I got out of them. I would be in a better place if I would have staked them, right? Because
and that's a big part of it. I mean, avoiding the temptation of looking at the price every 10 minutes and saying, oh, is now the high and I should get out now. Hey, man, if you're getting 18% return on investment, you're not beating that by trading, trying to sell at the top and buying it at the bottom, which we see, that activity. It's understandable, but really we're a different kind of project. And that's what we're trying to get across here. And this project works. It's social hash rate. You guys are the nodes of this project. So when you hold and stake, you're increasing the value of everything. And that's really what we're designing. Why staking rewards? We're minting staking rewards this month. And Peter, you touched on these major software updates. So, let me dive into that because that is my wheelhouse. So of course, before the morning of the 24th, it will happen sometime between tonight and the morning of the 24th. There's a major new patch to Otherverse Xeon, which, by the way, if you're wondering how the symbol UTHX came about, which is validated now, we are the official UTHX token, and we're listed on CoinMarketCap. So Jupiter recognized us as UTHX. It's Otherverse Xeon, UTH, and Xeon, XAEON, UTHX. So that's our token symbol. Major update, and this one is going to be so much fun. This includes, for the first time, the play to earn. It includes the quest system, gamification system, virtual world web systems. And so there's going to be multiple patches now, multiple software upgrades between now and the end of October, if you can believe it, because there's just too much for us to get in. And I'm telling the team, okay, put out the patch with a bunch of stuff, then spend a few days and then put out another patch with a bunch more stuff before we even get to November. So the questing system, you're going to be able to earn collectible. These are going to be ultra rare skins. They're Halloween costumes. Your avatar turns into fun things. You got to complete the quest. It's social, so you're going to want to make friends there to go through parts of the quests. But you're going to see that it's a AAA title game at this point. We cannot create video that shows off the graphics well enough because the videos always get reduced in quality. You kind of have to download Xeon and experience it to see that it's a AAA title game for yourself. But I encourage everybody to do it because you're going to be able to earn WoothX by jumping in, completing quests. You're getting paid to play. The affiliate program is going to be live. So even though we're not currently charging people, you'll be able to refer people in. You'll get a link. You can send that out and you'll start to see people that are signing up under you. So bringing in your friends, they can earn WoothX too by completing quests. And this is just, you're going to start to see these major pillars of metaverse falling into place every month. So the major updates for October, which is going to include, I mean, there's going to be a week of prizes and rewards, and you got to follow us, but we're giving away thousands of dollars, in-world parties, DJs, and of course, all kinds of spooky Halloween fun stuff. And you get to experience these updates. Definitely, it's going to be worth downloading and playing or updating if you already have an account. And then, of course, we've got a November update that's being planned. The November update is designed to primarily activate the economy. So there'll be WoothX in-world, there'll be UthX on the blockchain. You'll be able to have accounts that will house your in-world currency, VIP, and all of the features that go along with that. We're going to be activating. I think we're activating the upgraded animation system, so all the motion capture animation. So the animations will look even better. The VIP features start to activate, so new clothing options and all of that. And then December, boy, if we hit the December patch, I'm going to be really thrilled because I know things slow down between American Thanksgiving and New Year's. But planned for December, the first sovereigns going in. The first sovereign, of course, Red Light Center. So it's the nightlife, it's the sizzling, pole dancing and neon lights and after hours parties and all of the fun entertainment stuff that goes along with that. And that's going to draw in just millions and millions of users. At that point, we're going to reinvite, I think I got 11 million users that we're sending invites back out to who have been with us before and really turn this party up. Well, yeah, got off on a little bit of a fun ride there. So a few other things that I want to highlight here. Speaking of inviting old members back, people that we haven't seen in the classic software for a while. I also am going to, in short order, start having meetings with a bunch of groups from classic. I'm going to start doing town halls regularly. So it's not just going to be this format where it's just Peter and I discussing updates. I want to go into Otherverse Xeon and start meeting with the community, having discussions, town halls on a regular basis so we can answer questions, because I know, I get the questions often secondhand and filtered. I want to hear directly from people and bounce that around. I also want to go into Classic and start meeting with the various business owners, the various volunteer groups, the world operations groups, because we got to gear up now for millions of users coming in. And that means all the policies that we've worked out over the decades, I don't want to implement them if anything is not working, if anything needs to be upgraded. So I'm going to start having those kind of engagements, interactions. And speaking of town halls, tomorrow morning at 10:15 Pacific time, I am the featured guest for Crypto Town Hall. That's Mario Nofal's show. I'm going to be talking about some crazy stuff on that show. That is not just an update, but really some stuff that you want to tune in for if you can possibly make it. That's going to be a fun discussion. And I guess I don't want to end with it, but I know one question that came up was, one concern is about locked liquidity. And I just want to hit that very quickly. So people have pointed out that the liquidity on this project hasn't been locked, and so it could, in theory, be withdrawn. I have not found a solution for Solana locking liquidity that I'm comfortable with. I'm currently, on Radium, providing all of the liquidity. And by the way, anybody can go onto Radium and add liquidity pools to the project. So feel free to do that if you want to participate in the liquidity rewards for this. But Radium just introduced a program for locking liquidity, which is what they call concentrated liquidity. And I got to say, after analyzing it, it's the only one that I would trust to lock liquidity. I haven't found another Solana project. We are working on our own solution to lock it with smart contracts. But outside of that, I haven't been able to find a solution to locking liquidity that I trust isn't going to end up either going out of business, being hacked, or otherwise losing our liquidity through no fault of our own. And I don't want to subject our project, let's say the token, to any kind of FUD like that. We don't want to be involved in, have our stuff hacked through no fault of our own. We are very cautious, very careful. The only one that I would trust is Radium, and their concentrated liquidity solution is just about, I don't want to say anything that's going to get me in trouble, but in my opinion, it's the dumbest
It
solution.
doesn't make sense right now. That's really what it comes down to, right? It doesn't make sense.
If
one of the reasons why lock liquidity came up is, again, anonymous teams. You don't know who it is. You don't know much about the project, those type of things. That's not the case here. And a matter of fact, most major projects do not lock their liquidity. And the reason being is, at some point, we go to another chain, some of that liquidity might want to be moved over. We're launching our own chain. If we lock our liquidity on the chain we're on right now, we launch our own chain where, by the way, the stakers are benefiting from the transactions, right? Our node providers are benefiting from those transactions. So locking liquidity does not always make sense business-wise when you're building a long-term project like this, where it is. This liquidity will not be pulled. Why? Because it would harm the token, and the token is the economy. We just went through the presentation of what we want to build here, the vision that we have on it. So the only person that would want to pull that would be somebody who wants to harm the project, and that is definitely not us. Right? That is doing it. And so, at some point, we will have a solution that makes sense, and we will be able to, we're going to do what's best for the community, for the project, and for everybody that's involved. That ultimately is what we do. Every single decision we make is always on it. And we always start, when we start making that decision, how does it affect the community? How does it affect the company? Right? All the way across that line. So because we do understand, and you've heard Brian say, you heard me, community is commerce, right? Participatory economy, play to earn. We know we need the confidence of you guys in order for us to ultimately achieve the goal that we're doing, along with that technology and the team and everything else. So we're excited
about it. And now
we
can add to that social hash rate. Social hash rate.
I know it's not exactly.
Community is commerce and social hash rate.
Yes.
Keywords. Yep. Yeah, well, thanks for that summary there. That was pretty good. I was going to go into the weeds about Radium's new program, but it's unnecessary. People get it.
That doesn't make sense right now, right? Yep. So, we love you, Radium. We love you.
We do. We do. Talk to me if you want advice on how to fix that program, because that concentrated liquidity does not work for any legitimate, I shouldn't say it that way, for any real project that has thoughtfully considered it. How about that? Right. I'm sure there's legitimate projects that have done it. Okay, so major software updates, the Halloween update, play to earn, quest prizes, the affiliate program, staking, crypto town hall, roadmap. I think I completed my list.
All right, that's perfect. Guys, next week on the update, we're going to come up with some ways for you guys that you can be a participatory crypto holder, right? UTHEX holder, or you can be a spectator. We're going to start giving you guys ways where you can participate in being an UTHEX holder and help us drive the project faster, further around. So we'll have some information on that next week. Things that you can share, things that you can do, open maybe some doors, because 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon, I think is the term of it, right? Being able to connect with certain people.
Right.
So Brian, if you want to close us off, and
Lots of
we'll see you guys.
opportunities coming up, but the main stuff is have fun between now and the end of the month. You're going to be getting rewards and prizes, and at worst case scenario is you're going to be meeting a bunch of other token holders, and you're going to head on into Xeon. I'm dying for everybody to see this update, and it's the first of just going to be a steamroll of bang, bang, bang. These updates that are going to come, that are going to be, each one is going to be more impressive than the last. If you could see the things that I see, as I keep saying it, but it keeps being true. So yes, thank you, Peter. Thanks, everybody. I hope this was informative, and keep the questions coming. Keep engaging on Discord. Follow us on social media for the opportunity for big prizes and other ways to participate. And have fun this week.
See you guys on Thursday. Start collecting your wait a minute. I take notes, and I heard Brian say rare, collectible, and earn WooThex. That's all I need. I'll be there Thursday.
Awesome. I'll see you there then, Peter, at the opening celebration party. Thanks, everybody.